we need to improve flowering and fruiting in fruit plants?
To produce more fruit.
Good. To get the quality fruit, to get the quality product. Okay? That product will help us to earn good income by selling that fruit in the market. So how do we achieve? How do we improve our flowering and fruiting? Do you know? How do we improve the flowering and fruiting?
By managing the plant.
One by one. It jumbles. Yeah, please. Speak. It is good. By thinking, okay. I think you got my presentation. So, there are different methods to improve the flowering and fruiting. But why do we require to improve it? As we all know, that our concern is to get quality fruit. That quality can be maintained only by doing some practices in the field, in the fruit crop, in the orchard. So what are those practices? We will discuss here. That what are those practices? How those practices are helpful to us for improving the flowering and fruiting in fruit plants. Topic. So flowering and fruiting, these are the very critical stages in fruit plants. Okay? Because they are directly related to the production. You understand how they are related? Because if our plant gets good flowering, then it will bear good fruit. If our plant don't bear flowers, then how that will give us fruit? So flower is the base for having a good fruit. So flowering and fruiting, these both are the critical stages that are responsible to have good fruit bearing plant, and they are directly related to the production of fruits, and they are the primary reproductive structures of these plants. Next please. So what is the role of flowering and fruiting? So these are different roles which they perform. First one is reproduction. What do you understand by the term reproduction? You all study this genetics course. Are you studying genetics course also?
Genetics. Yeah.
Because in genetics, you know, we have to remove the flower, we have to go for emasculation, hybridization. So all these things can only be possible when we have flower. When we don't have flower, then how do we go for the crossing? So it is helpful for reproduction. Okay, second one is seed dispersal. So if you want to have new plant, that can only be possible by growing it from seed. So how the seed move from one place to another place? Is it possible for seed to move from one place to another place? Is it possible? How?
By carrying other organisms.
By carrying other organisms.
Like birds or...
Birds carry seeds.
Yeah, birds eat the fruits and fruits.
Birds eat all the fruits. You are right, birds are necessary for pollination. To pollinate. But for seed dispersal, fruit is the best medium. Because fruit contains seed. Whenever you need seed, you go to the market, you buy some fruit, you keep it to ripen, then when it gets fully mature or ripe, you guard those seeds from the fruit and then plant it in the field. Let us take the example of guava. Have you ever grown the nursery of guava? We take ripe fruits, then we just remove the pulp and the seeds. Then we wash those seeds. Then we sow those seeds in the field or in the poly bag. When those seeds germinate, then we go for budding and grafting. So how do we get the seed? By fruit. So that's why fruits are required for seed dispersal. You understand? Then third is nutrient storage. So seeds which are inside the fruit, they get matured with the time. And who provide nutrient to them? Fruits. So our seeds get ripe because of fruit. Because if you harvest unripened fruit, have you ever noticed you harvest unripened fruit, what is the color of the seed? Have you ever noticed? The color of seed is very white, which is immature. But when with the time that seed matures, the color changes into dark color. And dark color is the sign that our seed is ready to plant. Have you ever noticed any unripened fruit? You open it, you see the seed, and that too of ripe fruit. Have you ever? You all are having lot of jackfruit here. You have jackfruit?
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed when you open the jackfruit, some of its seeds get sprouted?
Yeah.
When the jackfruit is over mature, if you open it, the seeds of your jackfruit gets some rooting.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? So that is the mature seed. But if you harvest the unripe fruit and you just see the seed, it will not having any sign of rooting. So that is an immature seed. So the seed which gets matured, it is because of fruit. Fruit is helpful for maturing of seed. Then pollinator attraction, pollination, as you are saying that birds are moving from one flower to another flower. Either it is a bee or it is a fruit fly. It depends upon the fruit plant. In some plants, honeybee is the source of pollination. In some plants, birds, and in some plants, bat. You know bat?
Yeah.
So in which plant they have use of for pollination? Very good. In dragon fruit, because dragon fruit flowers in the night. So in night we don't have any bird or any fly. So in that case, bat is the source of pollinator for dragon fruit. Good. So then another one is economic importance. We grow fruit, we sell fruit, we get good income. So this is also. So one thing, more thing is there, that fruits give us aesthetic. You know aesthetic? Whenever you see a fruit plant in a bearing or in flowering, it gives us very soothing effect to our eyes. Isn't it? I think you all need a rest. You are a bit dull, I think. Response, as I told you earlier in my first class. I must know that you are here.
Yes, sir, yes.
I thought you are in some orchard with some fruit plant. No. So speak, I must be in a mood to speak more. So it gives aesthetic value. What is the aesthetic? Whenever you see a bearing plant, have you ever noticed, name any plant whose flowers attract you? Any fruit plant, when it is in flowering, it attracts you.
Like,
Have you ever seen peach in bearing, peach plant, peach?
we don't have
We
here.
don't have peace.
Then there is one more plant, it is citrus. Have you seen flowering in citrus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it? When it flowers white in color,
Yeah.
the whole plant is full of flower. Then there is flower, fruit drop, flower drop. There are 3-4 drops in citrus. Citrus plant will not bear 100%. The flower will drop, and it is natural. Either it is in June drop, or it is due to wind, or it is due to rainfall. But there are drops there. But when then plant comes into bearing, you have very good feeling. You feel the aroma, the sense. When you go from that plant, you feel the sense. That is the known as aesthetic value. That it gives good aesthetic look to you, as well as you are attracted by the flower and the fruit. Okay, let us deviate from this topic. One humor question. How many of you picked a flower from your either say neighborhood or from some tree, from the plant? Any one of you ever have that experience?
We are
Yeah.
I know you are good guys now. You don't be a big flower, but earlier in your childhood, have you ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone did it. Me too. I do love to pick the mango from some plant or this guava. You are also of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it means whenever we see fruit, it is our desire to just harvest it and eat it. It is our desire. It is our internal desire. Why not to harvest it and eat it?
Yeah.
So we don't wait whether it is ripe, whether it is unripe. We just want to just harvest it and eat it. So it means we are being attractive. So that's known as aesthetic. When you are attracted by something, either because of its flowering or because of its fruiting.
Oh.
Okay, next please. So these are the different methods which are used for the improvement of flowering and fruiting of fruit plants. Number one is thinning. You know thinning? You know thinning?
Remove the branches.
I shared this video clip with ma'am. I asked her to just share in your group. Have you watched that video? One video of Indonesia. Have you watched it? No. Because you are very busy. During weekend you have a lot of work to do. I shared the video of thinning and bagging in guava, which I shooted from your orchard here. Why I sent that video? Just to know you that how these things are important. If the student is of the nature that he wants to learn, then he must go through all these contents which your teacher shared with you. I know you have a lot of work to do. You are very busy. You have a lot of schedules with you. But even then, if some teacher shares something, you must go through it. It is for your betterment. Because I know that when you go through that video, you are able to understand what I want to say here. Thinning. Why it is important? Why we go for thinning?
To reduce the sink.
Good proportion, okay? And
to maximize
The size.
the fruit size.
good. One more thing which you missed is that we have to remove those fruits which are attacked by some pest or disease.
Oh,
Oh.
It is because we go for thinning just to keep the good quality fruit. You notice in your, I think, periphery that some of the farmers, as I discussed with Professor Sir, that they are using this for guava. They go for bagging,
Yeah.
bagging the fruit. Why?
To protect
Just to
the-
save it from fruit fly. Fruit fly is a problem in guava. Just to save it, they just notice the fruit which is in good condition, they bag it. That is because we require thinning just to remove the unhealthy fruit and keep the good one. Second one is pruning. Pruning is required to keep a good ratio of shoot and fruit. If you don't prune the plant, then it gives good vegetative growth only, and we don't have good quality flowers. But in some plants, they require it, like in mangosteen. In mangosteen, you don't go for pruning because mangosteen is a shade-loving plant. If you prune it, it don't flower. Have you ever noticed the plant of mangosteen? Have you ever noticed? It always grows in shade. Some people, they first plant durian. When it attains the height, then they plant mangosteen under the shade. And in shade, it bears fruits inside the leaves. I noticed it just within 25 days. During my exposure to different places, I noticed this thing. Then I discussed with the people, and they are saying that mangosteen is a shade-loving plant. Okay, so you have to maintain the plants like this. If you want to, if some of you may take this as your future venture, just to go for planting of new orchard, new planting, then how will you plant? How will you think about that? That you have to plan your orchard in such a way. First you plant large plants, then shade-loving plants, then climbers. Okay. Then third one is deficit irrigation or withhold irrigation. Since you all are student of physiology, you know physiology of plants, so you know the importance of this deficit irrigation.
Oh, deficit.
You have some pot, you have some plant in your house, in your home, and your mother or father is saying, go and water it. Go and water it. Is it required to water daily?
No.
Why?
Because we need the drought stress.
Oh, you give us drought stress without watering? First we have to establish the plant. Then we will give him stress. Initially we give the stress, then it died.
Initial
Initial we have to maintain the plant for 1 or 2 flushes. For 1 or 2 flushes, we keep the plant. When we get 2 flushes, then we go for this technique. When we notice that no, our plant is ready to bear the shock, to bear the stress. If we plant the plant and we don't water it, then that plant will die. Okay, you have to care that plant for 2 seasons. When we notice new leaves, new shoots on that plant, then we go for this. So deficit irrigation will help to give stress. As just compare these plants with you and me. We always perform in stress. Are we able to perform in normal? Suppose there are your exams and you have time schedule. You have 5 days gap between paper A and paper B. Are you going to study daily? No. I don't think so. Those who study daily, they are really good. That is good. But I don't think. We just wait for the last day. And when we are stressed, then we keep on giving whole night, whole day for our exam. But for 4 days, we are in rest period. So similar is with the plant. When we keep the plant under the stress, it gives flowering. Because scientists have noticed this. They perform the experiments. Then if we give the plant a stress, it will give flowering. You might have noticed that if you don't water your plant for 5-6 days, its leaves gets wilted, like shriveled, that if they don't have any life or anything. But when you water that plant after that, its leaves again say you hello. With its green flower, green leaves. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
Have you noticed this? If not, then do it. Because you are in the course of Faculty of Agriculture in Agronomy and Horticulture. So you must love the plant. You must notice the physiology of the plant. How the plant behaves. What are the different things which we have to do to increase our flowering, to increase our fruiting. So this is one of the important aspects. It is known as deficit irrigation. We don't provide that much irrigation which is required daily, but we keep the plant under stress, and under that stress it gives flowering, it gives fruiting. So in this way we can manipulate our crop also. You just notice, if you plant any plant at your place, let us take an example of mango. The mango comes into flowering, comes into fruiting at certain period. There are some months. Is it?
Yeah.
It will come into flowering in some period. When its flowering occurs, then it gives fruiting. You understand me or not? Are you understanding what I am saying? Yes. You have a mango plant.
Yes.
That is fully grown.
Yeah.
You have fruiting and flowering in some particular season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to rotate that flowering and fruiting, and you want to take crop for the whole year, what is the process? Is there any process?
Yes, we have to maintain maybe the climate or
Very good.
yes.
You cannot maintain the climate of the plant which you planted in the field. You cannot. Are you? But you can maintain the plant climate if you planted it in a container.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that sense, if you planted a plant in a container or in a bag, you can arrange your harvesting, arrange your flowering as per your desire.
Yeah.
How? By this deficit irrigation. No, we are talking that we need fruit whole year. You found every fruit whole the year? Whether we talk of mango, it is not that it is during season. Then how they manage this? They either grow it under polyhouse, under high tech condition, or you, by growing this, you can perform this experiment at your place. You just plant 5-6 plants. You just rotate the cycle. You give deficit irrigation to one plant for one time, then second plant after 15-20 days, then third plant after 15-20 days. So just notice the difference. You get fruiting as per your desire. You get flowering as per your desire, not as per the plant desire. Okay, so deficit irrigation plays very important role these days. Then there is plastic culture. You have noticed plastic on some strawberry. You notice on strawberry there is mulching, black mulching, white mulching. That is plastic. You notice that polyhouse, plastic house, for saving your crop from birds, or to grow some plants inside. So that's plastic. Then canopy management, it is very important, canopy management. Then use of growth regulator. And last one is proper water, nutrient and light. Next please. So this is the video which I shared. How to do thinning and bagging of fruit plant, guava fruits. So if you have not watched it, so it is my request to all of you, do watch it. Because you get some ideas from it. Why we go for bagging? You just see on one shoot, they remove all the fruits. So why do we remove all the fruits? Just to give so much nutrient to the fruits which are in good condition. Our aim is to get good fruit, not the fruit which is infested, not the fruit which is damaged. So you must watch this video. If you don't have link, you can ask me, I will send you the link. That is not an issue. So why I think you all understand what is the importance of thinning. Okay? Thinning is important to maintain the this ratio between flowers and fruits to get good quality fruit. Okay, next please. So these are the different roles which are to be performed under thinning. First one is resource allocation. What is this resource allocation? The nutrients, the water which is to be provided to those parts which are not required, that has to be checked and that is provided to those which are in good condition. So that is known as resource. Then second one is reduced competition. So what do we do here? We do the reduction in competition by thinning the unwanted, the diseased fruit, those fruit plants which have some damage, and we just reduce the competition. If let us take an example, if on one shoot there are 5 fruits, if you leave all the 5 fruits, what will happen? Let's see what will happen. If you leave all the 5 fruits,
smaller.
They are smaller in size. Good. Anything else? Good. They are smaller in size. Might be out of 5, 2 are damaged by pest, 1 is damaged by some disease, and 1 or 2 are good for us. So it is of no use to keep those 3 fruits. So we thin them. We keep only 2. Maybe in some cases only 1.
In some cases.
So it is a required process which gives us good quality fruit. And we will give good quality fruit to the consumer to get good income. So there is reduction in competition. Okay. Then there is consistent yield. We get yield all around the year. That is known as consistent yield. Next please. Then there is one more important thing, you must have heard this word biennial bearing in mango. You know this biennial bearing? Biennial bearing. Biennial bearing is a term which is very much, we can say, used for mango. It is also known as alternate bearing. 1 year, the mango gives good crop, that is known as on year. In the second year, the yield gets lower, that is known as off year. So this is known as biennial, but not regularly, but 1 year good crop, 1 year less crop. So thinning will help us to get that to be checked. By thinning, how do we check it? We thin some flowers and the nutrients get reserved. Those nutrients will be supplied in second year. So we can regulate.
To maintain the productivity.
Yeah. So another one is improve air circulation. If we thin the fruits, if we thin the plants, we thin the shoots also. They improve the circulation of air, sunlight. That is helpful for getting good quality fruit. And then there is one more thing is enhanced pollination. Thinning is related to the pollination. Yeah. Because if we have a good number of flowers, the pollinator will come, they will pollinate. So it will also help in that also. Because if we thin the shoot, it gives nutrients to other stem, other branch, that flowers profusely, and that will give good pollination. Next please. Now second one is pruning. Now pruning is very much essential if we talk of fruit plants. Why? Because we have to maintain the ratio between a shoot and fruit, or we can say non-fruit flower. That is known as pruning. We prune the deadwood. We prune those material which is not required. Means if there is intermingling of branches, we prune those branches and we give plant an open space. Just see on the figure which is shown. First one is correct pruning and second one is incorrect pruning. What is the difference between the two? Is there any difference? No? Yes? So what is the difference?
The branches.
First year we plant a plant, then we open it. If we don't prune the plant, then the stems get jumbled and we don't have so much of flowering, fruiting because the plant is compact. And if plant don't opens, there is no good sunlight, no air circulation, then how it gives flowering? You must have heard the one word source and sink. What is it? What is source and sink?
Source is
Nutrients allocation.
yeah, but nutrient allocation in the plant.
Source?
Source is
Source is our sunlight and sink is our fruit. Fruit receives sunlight and sunlight is helpful for photosynthesis. That photosynthesis will give fruit. The fruit will get good quality, good size because if we don't have good sunlight, our fruit quality is not good. So that is known as relation between source and sink. Next please. So pruning is required to regulate flowering and fruiting. So to stimulate new growth, remove of old and unproductive. This is very much important for pruning. If any of your branch it is not productive, you have to remove it. If it is old, you have to remove it. While going for pruning, I must say all of you, because you all are postgraduate students, you must know the bearing habit of the plant. Don't take the scatier and go for pruning. Because some plants bear on new shoots. Some plants bear on 1 year old shoot. So you must know that the plant where you are going to prune, what is the bearing habit of that plant. If it bears on new shoot, then you will prune the old shoots. If it bears on old shoot, then you have to keep 1 year old shoot there to get flowering and fruiting. For example, in case of grapes, you cannot prune old shoots. If you prune them, then how will you get fruits? So you have to understand the bearing habit of the plant. Okay? Then there is a balancing canopy structure. If we go for pruning, we balance the structure of the plant for shoots, for fruits. So there is a balance between them. Okay, next please. Then there is a controlling of size and shape. So by this pruning, we can maintain the plant as per our approach. Earlier you noticed that there are long plants which are difficult to harvest the fruit. You have to take a ladder, either you have to climb up. But now, with the use of these pruning techniques, we can maintain the canopy. Canopy and our approach, so that we can harvest it with our hands very smoothly. So that is possible with pruning. Then thinning out of excess growth. Then this is timing of flower. Timing of flower. Just see, certain fruit plants, they produce flowers on specific type of growth. That's what I asked you. Because some plants bear on current season growth. Some bear on 1 year old growth. So we have to know that before going for pruning. Next please. Then this one is deficit irrigation in fruit crops. So deficit irrigation or water holding is essential for health and growth of the fruit plants. How? Because by deficit irrigation, we can manipulate flowering, we can manipulate fruiting, as I discussed earlier. So it is up to us how to manage it. Next please. So role of this deficit irrigation. First is stress induction. So by withholding the water for a short period, they can induce stress in the plant. That you will notice by your own eyes. That is visual to you. When you don't give plant water after I can say 5 or 10 days, so its leaves get shriveled. That is the indication that your plant is under stress. So don't go for heavy irrigation or flood irrigation. No, give little bit of water, which is very much essential to survive. Then again give it a shock for 50 days. Then little bit of more. As is done by we people by our instructor in the gym. When we are in gym, he never allow us to take water once. He just asks us to take a sip. You go for exercise, just take a sip. You never use to drink whole water in one instance and go for then exercise. No. Similar is the case. If you go for flooding, then your whole exercise is. Then you have to wait for another 1 or 1 month. So the irrigation which you give after stress, it is so much that it is essential for its survival. Okay?
Yes.
So this is known as stress. Then it will reduce the vegetative growth. So excessive vegetative growth can sometimes inhibit flowering and fruiting. Control water deficit encourages the plant to allocate resources from vegetative growth and redirect them towards fruits and flowers. Next please. Then improve flowering time. Then there is disease prevention. So these are the things which you can manipulate by deficit irrigation. So how you improve your flowering time? Because by controlled deficit irrigation, we can influence the timing of flower. Because they manage water availability during the critical growth, which I discussed, critical growth. And one may synchronize flowering with optimal environmental conditions, such as temperature, light, that will lead to successful fruit set. Culture. Just see, on strawberry we use these mulches. Why? Because these mulches are helpful for. Why we use mulch?
With
Weed growth. Very good. Weed growth is one. Then another thing. Very good. To conserve the moisture, to maintain the humidity. Then
reflect the sunlight.
Reflect the sunlight. And fourth one is to control the pest and disease. Because when they receive pest, there is a lot of heat inside that.
Yeah.
So it controls the disease pest also there. And one on right side there is one picture which you are noticing. I am standing. So there is a polythene sheet, and they are growing these grapes inside that in your ATP. This picture is of your ATP center. They are growing grapes inside that house with that polythene sheet. What is the purpose of keeping polythene sheet? Is there any use of keeping plant inside that? Because they discussed that the fruits got damaged by the birds. Just to save the fruits, they keep it inside the polythene.
polyethylene plastic.
It will give good, I can say, sunlight. It will give good temperature inside the vine. But just to save those vines, just to save those fruits, they keep those polythene sheets. Okay, next please. So role of plastics in fruit culture. Just see, first one is soil temperature management, which I discussed, to maintain the temperature. Okay. Next one is moisture conservation. You all understand that mulch is used for conserving the moisture.
Moisture.
We can use other things for mulching also. What are those? Not only polythene. Is there anything else
Yes.
for mulching? What is it? Straw mulch. Very good.
And biomulch.
And
Biomulch with different
leaves.
plants like clover or leguminous.
So there are different things which are used for mulching. Straw mulch. Then we use these leaves also. The leaves, fallen leaves, because leaves are good source of nitrogen. they give nitrogen to our plant. Then sawdust. Some people they use wooden work. So there is some
wooden.
sawdust there. We use sawdust for mulching. So there are different things for mulching, okay? So that it will also control the weed. Mulching is used for control of weeds. Okay? Next please. And if we don't control the weed, then what will happen? If we don't control the weed, then what will happen?
Competition.
Some negative impacts.
Yeah, very good. Because our main job is to get good fruiting, good flowering. If we don't control the weed, they will compete with our crop.
Okay.
They will reduce the yield. They will reduce the fruit. And they are the source of insect pest also.
First.
So we have to control the weeds. Okay? Then disease prevention, improve fruit quality. How much improves fruit quality? Just think. Is it possible to improve fruit quality by mulch?
Wait, what?
How?
Clean.
Clean. Which? What? How will you explain it? Just speak aloud. Speak aloud. Yeah? You are right. Speak aloud.
To improve the plant quality, maybe the root will keep clean and decrease the disease, the skin prick, and to decrease the any organism.
Very good.
in, abroad.
So you must have noticed in case of strawberry. I have shown you the picture of strawberry.
Yeah.
What you have noticed? If there is no mulch, then the fruit will get in contact with the soil.
Yeah.
When it gets in contact with the soil, there is a fungus development. Because wherever it is a delicate fruit, strawberry is a delicate fruit. When it comes in contact with the soil, there is development of fungus. So there is also, you get some soil on the fruit, which reduces its quality. You will not get good price in the market. So mulching is help to maintain those quality also. To keep your fruit in good condition as well as to help it from any sort of disease, pest and anything else. Good. Next please. So there are some environmental effects also which will affect your fruiting and flowering. What they are? Any one of you? Are there any environmental factors also which will affect your flowering and fruiting?
Temperature.
Huh?
The light, sunlight.
Photo period.
Everyone is talking of climate change and you are the future of Indonesia. You have to work on it also. So just tell me how climate will affect flowering and fruiting.
Change the season maybe.
Change the season. Good.
And then
Hot temperature.
So in case of fruit plants, we are very much affected by climate change. How? Because there is variation in temperature.
Temperature.
Every fruit plant needs some range of temperature. But if there is variation, then our fruit will get some bruising, some sun scalding. Okay? Then there might be formation of some off flavors. Because for development of proper juice, for development of sugars, we need certain temperature. And if that temperature is not provided to the plant, then those sugar will change into acids. And there is development of off flavors. So that is the main effect. Then second is, if we have lot of rains, if we have lot of winds, that will affect our flowering, our fruiting directly. Because our flower gets fallen down, our fruit gets fallen down. So it is the direct impact of winds, direct impact of rains. How do rain affect? Rain affects your pollination.
Pollination.
The movement of pollinators during the when the flower is opened and there is good sunlight, only then they will move from one flower to another flower. If there is rain, they don't move. So if they don't move, then the quality of our fruit gets reduced
Reduced.
because it don't receive pollination. So these are the factors which are responsible for good flowering and fruiting. These climatic factors. Okay, next please. So first one is this temperature. Second one is photoperiodic manipulation. Just see, day length has very important role. Some plants are short day, some plants are long day, some are day neutral. So this variation in temperature will show the type of the plant. So we have to work on this also, because if the temperature gets lower down earlier and if there is cool breeze, then it don't receive that much of period. Suppose in case of citrus, we need good sunlight to get good quality fruit. If we don't receive good sunlight and we have rains, or I can say we have winds, then we don't receive that quality or fruit juice. That's why we discuss degreening of citrus. We harvest the matured fruit, then we go for degreening. In last lecture.
Yeah.
Yeah? So temperature extremes, either it is high or low, they will affect both flowering and fruiting directly. They have direct effect. Next please. Humidity. So humidity, if there is lot of humidity, it will lead to fungal diseases.
Fungal.
Because fungal disease always love humid environment. To be a student of agronomy and horticulture or agriculture, because anyone can ask you anything at any time. So you must be in a position to tell him or her that what is the problem. The first problem, which is every fruit plant, is a nutrient. So you must say, oh, there is deficiency of nutrient. There is stunting growth. The leaves are not so good. So give nutrient. So he say, oh, which nutrient? You say, if you want quality fruit, give potassium. If you need good vegetative growth, give nitrogen. Like that. So nutrient plays very important role. That we have to understand. So providing proper nutrient at proper stage gives us good quality fruits and flowers. Next please. Then these we have discussed. Next please. Now next is canopy management. Canopy management is very much important if we talk of fruit plants. Why? Why canopy management is required in fruit plants? We discussed same in pruning also.
They are like exposure.
Why?
Sunlight.
Reduce shading.
Sunlight.
Good. To give optimum light exposure to plant, to give optimal light exposure to our fruits, so that our fruits get, the sunlight is there, fruit gets good quality. That quality will be achieved by good sunlight. Okay? So if we don't have good sunlight, our plant is compact. So there is no possibility of sunlight penetration. So inside there is growth of some fungus, some pest, some disease. Those plants parts which are exposed to sunlight, they don't have so much pest and disease. But those which are not, they have that thing. So we have to control it by providing optimum canopy management.
Canopy.
Okay? Then we have to reduce the shading effect by pruning and thinning. Then air circulation. We have to maintain proper ratio between shoot and branches, which are bearing and which are not bearing. Okay? So we have to maintain proper ratio between that. It is not possible that we can take a skidder and cut all the plant and then we have to wait for another 2-3 years. You are getting what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Take a skidder and cut the plant, then we have to bother. Why? Because that plant needs 2-3 years to develop that canopy. That much of, because flowering and fruiting will be beared on branches. And if we cut the branches, then we have to wait for another 2-3 years to get that branches again. So pruning is not so easy. If we see that we can take a skidder and go to the plant and we cut all the plant and say, oh sir, pruning is done. I did my job, I did number one. No, that is not number one. You have to learn which stem you have to keep, which branch you have to remove. If you remove all the branches, then that plant will not bear for 3-4 years good fruit. It will bear fruit only on those 5 branches which you kept. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to take proper thing into consideration that while pruning, which branch has to be removed, which branch has to be kept. Okay, next please. Then there should be a nutrient distribution. So if there are healthy branches that are good growing, your nutrient will go to those branches and you will get good fruiting and flowering. Our ultimate aim is to get good flowering and fruiting. And these are the different practices which will help us to get good flower and fruit. Then water management. So reduce thinning out will reduce the we can say competition of water for those areas which don't require water or which are in excess. We prune those areas and the water will be available to those parts which require it. So we can save our water. Then there is temperature control. A well managed, if the plant canopy is well managed, so there is a proper ventilation inside. There is a proper ventilation inside which will prevent the growth of any pest, any insect inside the plant, and it gives good quality fruits. Okay, next please. Then fruit size and quality, thinning. By thinning we can get good fruit size and quality. Then disease and pest management. Then shape and size. So as I discussed with all of you that there is one important thing, CN ratio. That is very much important for getting good size fruit. Okay, next please. Then you must have heard this word growth regulator. What is growth regulator? What is plant growth regulator?
Like oxy,
Hormones.
the hormones.
Hormone.
Plant growth regulator are hormones. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Growth regulators. More than usually. Okay. Have growth more than usually. Okay. Anyone else?
It's yours.
Okay. Let us make it a bit interesting. What do you understand? What will happen in the plant? When you plant a plant, it grows. What will happen? What will happen? What helps it to grow?
What helps? Water.
How? What will happen? How the plant gets height increased?
Nutrient.
There is a hormonal balance. You might have heard auxin and cytokinin. These are the two hormones which are required for plant. What is their function? What is their function? Auxin and cytokinin.
Auxin and cytokinin.
Oh,
Auxin and cytokinin, these are the two hormones. What are their functions?
Auxin.
the cell division.
Cells.
New cell division.
Auxin and cytokinin are not used for cell elongation. It is gibberellin.
Oh, gibberellin.
Gibberellin is used for cell elongation. Auxin is used for rooting. It is a rooting hormone. And cytokinin is used for shoot development. You need these two hormones if you study in your future for your post-graduation program or in your PhD program for tissue culture. You must understand these two hormones. Auxin will help in rooting. It is a rooting hormone. And cytokinin is the shoot development. So one is helpful if the auxin concentration gets increased, our plant gets good rooting. So when it's root, it gets good sunlight and it gives to increase in shoot. That is because of cytokinin. So when there is fruit set, so now when fruit set occurs, there is a role of gibberellin. Gibberellin helps in cell elongation. And then when we get the fruit, that fruit needs ripening. Then there is a role of ethylene.
Ethylene.
Ethylene is a ripening hormone.
Ethylene.
So just see, these are all interconnected. What I asked you, what is the process which occurs in the plant. One is helpful for rooting, one is helpful for shooting, one for cell elongation and for fruit enlargement, one is for fruit ripening, and there is one abscission, abscisic acid. When the plant goes into senescence, when it shed its leaves, it is abscisic acid. So these are the 5 plant growth regulators which are helpful for growth and development of a
Fruits.
of me. Growth and development of a plant. Next please, just see, first one is gibberellin. So gibberellin is helpful for elongation, increase in size of the fruit. Okay. Second one is auxine. Auxine is helpful for thinning, we can say, excess fruits. You must have heard that we spray this auxine for crop regulation in guava. There is one more important thing which we do in guava is crop regulation. To load on the load, we spray this auxine. Next please. Then cytokinin. Cytokinin is helpful for fruit setting. Then abscisic acid is involved in maturation and ripening. Then ethylene, which is a ripening hormone. Then there are other things also. Brassinosteroid, salicylic acid. So these are also included in these criteria. Next please. So these are the 5 things which are required. So what they are for development of a plant?
Water,
Very good. Water,
Sunlight.
light, air.
space, and nutrient.
So these 5 things influence the fruiting and flowering of a plant, any plant. Okay. So how water will affect? Just tell how water will affect.
Yeah, the
How?
water.
If water is in excess, it gives water logging. So roots don't perform good, and roots get rotting.
Yeah.
There is development of fungus, the plant dies. If there is less water, then there is drought condition. So even then plant don't perform. So water in proper amount is required for good flowering and fruiting. And water is very much helpful for flowering and fruit enlargement. Because you must see that the fruit which we receive, it is having good amount of water. Fruit enlargement will only be, in some cases you might have heard that no, the fruit is setting is there. No, there is enlargement of fruit. For that we have to give irrigation. So after fruit setting and fruit development or fruit maturity, you have to irrigate the plant. In that condition you cannot stress it. The stress is only for getting flowering, for getting fruit set. But if you have fruiting and you keep the plant under stress, then whole the fruit will drop down. Okay, during that condition, you have to maintain the proper irrigation. You have to maintain the proper water. So water availability is good for just see flower initiation. It is good for flower development, but the proper ratio. You cannot go for excess water or deficit water. Then it will help to remove water stress condition also. So proper irrigation is very much helpful to prevent the stress and optimize the reproductive development. Next please. Then nutrients. Nutrients. How nutrients are essential? How?
They cannot replaceable.
How nutrients are essential?
Cannot replaceable by another substance.
Yeah, sorry.
It needs to for the plant metabolism, the plant growth, and
Okay, anyone else? How nutrients are essential? Now we are discussing the things which are essential for proper growth and development. First is water. Second is nutrient. So how nutrient is essential?
Oh, because needed by the plants. Because needed by the plants.
They are involved in different physiological processes. They are helpful for flower initiation. They are helpful for flower development. Nutrients are helpful for flower development. If you are talking of the quality, good quality fruit, good size fruit, then we talk of Potassium. Which nutrient? Potassium. If we talk of flowering, then we talk of this nutrient phosphorus. Then we need to spray phosphorus. And there is also very much importance of micro and macronutrients. Micronutrients are very much essential for fruit crops. Their deficiency will not give good quality fruit. So for getting good quality fruit, we have to maintain the nutrient status also. Okay? So balanced fertilization and appropriate fertilizers ensures that fruit plant receives necessary nutrients for optimal reproductive growth. Nutrient deficiency or imbalance can negatively impact. Just see, nutrient imbalance has negative impact on flowering and fruiting. So we have to maintain the proper balance between them. Okay, next please. Third one is light. How light is helpful for us for fruit plants?
For photosynthesis.
Very good. One is first photosynthesis, where carbon dioxide and water, they in presence of sunlight gives glucose and oxygen. We receive that oxygen and we consume the fruit. Then there are some other things which are associated with light, that providing fruit color and sugar content. Light is helpful for proper development of fruit color and sugar development inside the fruit. So adequate sunlight exposure directly impacts the fruit quality by inducing color development and sugar content. Fruits exposed to sufficient sunlight, they give better taste and appearance. Okay? Then preventing shade. Proper pruning and canopy helps to prevent shade effect on the plant, and thereby they give proper light, which will helpful to have good reproductive growth of the plant. Next please. So now coming to the conclusion, what you concluded from this? What you concluded? We concluded that improving the flowering and fruiting in fruit plants requires a combination of practices and consideration. Firstly, we have to ensure optimum soil health by providing balanced nutrients. Regular soil testing can help for getting proper checks on the fertilization needs of the plant. To enhance flowering and fruiting, we have to focus on nutrient-rich soil, strategic pruning, watering, consistent watering, and pollinator activity. And the holistic approach sets the foundation for a model fruitful harvest. So holistic approach means we have to take all these things into consideration. Either we talk of thinning, or we talk of pruning, or we talk of deficit irrigation, or we talk of environmental manipulation. So these all have to be taken into consideration if we have to get good quality fruit. Next please. So now this is an interesting part. So just see. First one is dash and dash are directly related to production and flower of fruit plants. Flowering and fruiting. Dash can be used to increase size of the fruit. Gibberellin. Good. Water stress during flowering and fruiting can lead to blossom dash and dash fruit set.
Blossom drop and poor fruit drop.
Very good. Blossom drop and poor fruit set. If we give water stress during flowering and fruiting, it will lead to good blossom drop and poor fruit set. Very good. So thank you for your patience hearing. And if there is any doubt, you can ask me. We can solve it. We can solve it.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Bakshi. Can you give applause? Okay, next we are going to discussion session. If any one of you want to ask question, please raise your hand. Yes.
About your experience about mango. So my question is about pruning or thinning. About the proportion of proportion to maximize the yield or to maximize the fruit. What is the critical point or the critical activity to make the pruning or thinning in a good way? I mean the parameter like how many flowers in one fruit or how many branches in one fruit to produce how many should to produce some flowers or some fruits. What
Actually, it depends upon the experience. You cannot use one method for everything. Okay? For every fruit plant, there is different method for pruning. You cannot use pruning of for mango, same for citrus and same for guava. Okay? But as far as mango is concerned, since mango is a crop which is being taken up under high dynasty also. These days you have heard that this crop is taken under high dynasty. So if we are talking of high dynasty planting, we have to take this pruning and training into consideration. We have to plant the plant, then after 90 centimeter we have to cut it, pinch it. Then we have to encourage side shoots. On that side shoots, you will encourage primary branches, then secondary branches. Don't allow the plant to grow away from your approach. Okay? So how many tertiary branches or secondary branches you have, that will decide your flowering and fruiting. If we don't prune, what will happen? The canopy becomes dense, there the growth of shoot becomes stopped, so there is no other further growth. So if there is no further growth, then how will it bear fruits? So proportion of primary, secondary and tertiary shoots play very important role. So some fruit plants like citrus, it don't need much pruning, I can say. You don't go for heavy pruning, but you go for heavy pruning in those plants which are under high density. If you prune it heavily, then you have to, I can say, wait for 2-3 years to develop that canopy again. How will it bear fruit? How will it bear flowers? If there are 5 shoots and you cut all the 3 and you keep it to 1, then you have to wait for another 2 years to get those shoots. So to have good quality of pruning, it is very much required that you first understand the bearing habit of the plant. Bearing habit, then when you planted it, right from the day of planting, you have to consider it into that how will you going to manage it. It should be open center, but I have shown there in pruning. It should not be erect, all shoots not like this. You should cut it from top, then you encourage the side branches, it should be open center. If you watch some plants which are of older age, you must notice that from ground, they just open it like this and big branching. So open center with growth of primary and secondary shoots.
I have two types of open center. It's more like board center and like coba apa sih Inggrisnya? Which one is
That this one.
No, this one.
No, this one. This one. This is known as umbrella shape.
Yes.
Okay, umbrella shape is good. The plant in the umbrella shape is good. Anyone else?
Okay, anyone else? Okay. Please.
Okay, thank you, sir. I didn't get a point about stress reduction. Does it also give negative effect for flower and fruit, and how to control it? And then, are there other methods besides withhold water to trigger psychological processing plants for fruit and flowering? Thank you.
Basically, if you talk of stress management, I discussed earlier that if you keep it for long duration, the plant will die. So you have to first give the plant properly adapted to your condition, if it gives 2 shoots, 2 or 3 seasons, then you go for this manipulation. Don't keep your younger plant in stress. First one is this. You have to first watch the condition of the plant. If it gives 2-3 new flashes, then we go for this stress treatment. Secondly, we can only manipulate water. We don't have control on temperature. We don't have control on other things also. We can control it by water or by nutrient. These 2 are the things which we can control for stress management. But since water is a thing which we don't require to be checked upon. If we give nutrient, then we have to check how much nutrient we have given. Then we have to check the pH, electric conductivity, what is the status of the nutrient. So that's why we use water only. It is easy to manipulate. Okay, if we keep the plant for some time under water stress, then we will water it. So it has been noticed that it will lead to good flowering. It will lead to fruiting early. So that's why we regulate our flowering and fruiting, just to regulate as per the season and to get year-round availability. We go for this stress management. Okay.
I just know your opinion, sir. In your lecture, you said that gibberellin and tiny can increase the size of fruit, right? So
Gibberellin
and tiny.
No. Cytokinin is don't increase, only gibberellin.
Only
Cytokinin is helpful for shoot development.
Okay.
Shoot.
Okay. If I have a guava, what is your opinion? If I want to increase the size, better I give more nutrient or gibberellin?
You just first watch the video which I shared the link. Thinning is the best way to increase the size of guava. Thinning. No need of gibberellin, nothing else. You first thin your fruits, which are in good condition. Bag those fruits. It will give you good size. Okay. For guava, thinning is the best option. Good.
So I think each treatment depends on which plant.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question? Okay.
I want to ask about you about the jackfruit plant. Does we need to prune the branches because in Indonesia we don't have SOP yet for the jackfruit plantation. Does we need to prune or anything else we can do on the plant?
What is the bearing habit of jackfruit? What is the bearing habit of jackfruit? Where the jackfruit bears?
The flower came from the trunk.
So if you cut the branches, then how will it bear? That is the reason why people don't cut its branches.
Oh.
But if we develop certain technique that we can give encourage to side branches, because everything which we thought it is a new idea and we have to work on it.
So it's depend on the bearing. Yeah.
Bearing habit, yeah. I already discussed it in my lecture that when whatsoever you want to do, first you know the bearing habit of the plant. Don't go for pruning. Pruning is to be done after knowing the bearing habit. If we know that this bears on old shoot, this bears on new shoot, this bears on trunk, the bearing habit of every plant is different. So after knowing the bearing habit, we go for pruning.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I want to know about how the injection, the gibberellin, for the size, the fruit, and is it for the pre-fruit or when the fruit is fruit? Maybe when the injection of the gibberellin.
The spraying of gibberellin is only after fruit set. It is not on flower initiation. When the fruit set and you have to elongate your berries, only after you spray the gibberellin. Spray. It is by spray.
So when the fruit is set on the plant.
Yeah. The best time to spray gibberellin is after fruit setting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. And at last, I want to convey my best wishes to all of them. And I hope that they don't have any doubt. Even then, if they feel any doubt, I am here for 22 days more. So you can ask me anytime. I might be in ICO or in Dormitory International. You can come to me. That is not an issue. I always welcome students with their questions. But questions should be from the course, not out of course. So all the best and good luck. Just see, we visited some place. There he is doing very much good research on avocado. Avocado, he has container gardening and he is growing avocado. Where I discussed about you. Ma'am is also with me. So that's why I asked her. I discussed with him, sir, this is the need. Because first we have to identify the local germplasm. We have to conserve it. Then after we go for that genetics and other things. So conservation is very important. Then I discussed about you that one of the students has asked this from me. Sir, is this a good problem? I say, yeah, you go ahead. My good wishes. And do share your results with me.
And my lecturer is Prof.
Yeah, excellent. That's good. That's good.
Actually, one day after we went to the garden of
Raza, yeah.
Prof. Ahmad also going there tomorrow, the day after. Okay, so if the...
Sir, he is doing very good work on this avocado. Yeah. Container gardening and regulating this by stress. The flowering and fruiting and everything. Just see, he is the alumni. You just see, the man is from IPB Bogar. He completed his graduation from here. Then he go for job. Then he completed PG, postgraduate. He did his postgraduate on durian. Then he go for this PhD, PhD from Bogar in Department of your Agronomy and Horticulture in this mangosteen. He worked on mangosteen. You just see, I discussed it in there also that these days students always remain in hurry with the problem. Sir, my thesis is getting late. Sir, she has done work. I am getting late. I don't have time. This and that. He spent 6.5 years. He said, I got 2 ultimatum from Dean that your search is out of time. But the work which he has chosen, it is really wonderful work. The work is on mangosteen. He worked on mangosteen. If you plant a mangosteen plant, it is very difficult to come into bearing because it is a shallow rooted plant. But it took 10 to 15 years to come into commercial bearing. Then he used grafting method. What he did, he took 3 seeds in one bag, planted 3 seeds, make it like this, then 3 seeds developed, then he tied it and get it one plant. That one plant will help to get nutrient from these three roots, and it will help to develop the plant within 4 years. He got that plant into fruiting, and now the plant is also there. So what I want to discuss with all of you is that stress is very much required to show your extraordinary ability. So don't get a panic in stress, perform in stress. You will definitely get good results. So good luck.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Baxi. Can we give him an applause? I'll tell you one more about Professor research. I think you can subscribe for watching his YouTube channel.
We will. I keep on sharing things because whatsoever is good in horticulture, I just want to get it for my students. Since you are also my student, I have taken you a class. Now you are my student. If I deliver anything good to you, then it is good for me also because you are exposed to some new thing. So thinning, these type of videos I prepared from Indonesia only during this 25 days. So I will share those content also with you. But do watch them because they are for your benefit. It is not for me to increase my channel hours. No. Students are very crazy these days. They say, oh, Dr. Bakshi want to increase his viewer hours, so that's why I don't need viewer hours. I don't need it. But I need to give something to you. If you learn something, you get some idea, That is enough for me. I am not getting any money from YouTube till date because I am not a YouTuber. But being a professor, it is my responsibility to deliver the things which are for my students, which gives you your vision to be broadened and you think out of box. Because you are here for 2 years, 2.5 years, then you have to go either for your job or for higher studies. So you must develop yourself in that path. So for that, I must say, if any of the teacher of your department will share anything with you, please watch it. Give your 5-20 minutes just from a week. You mark it that okay, on every Wednesday from 6 to 7 I will watch everything whichever my teacher will send it to me. Because it will broaden your way, it will broaden your ideas, and you are in a position to reply, you are in a position to think. So thinking is very much important for student. If he don't think, then what will he do?
Sleeping.
Sleeping is also good, but thinking is also after sound sleep you can think. So beta, good luck. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity
Yes,
to interact with the students in this course. Thank you.
maybe Prof. Salman have another words from us.
So we discuss covering protein, enlargement, and digital polythene and and conservation. So we discussed in several weeks about that. So thank you very much. Silakan, beliau nanti applause. Ya.
Thank you, sir. You can take clip also. Yeah. Everyone will say namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Okay.